Hello. Thank you. Okay. Once you're here within Google Map or Google Earth rather, what you want to identify or what you want to do first is to identify your site location. Where are you going to? Where do you want to extract the digital elevation model or the control lines? Take for instance, I'm going to Abuja, which I believe most of us um, are familiar with. Let's say we're going to Gwarimpa or Gwagwalada, whichever one is your area of interest. You can type it here. If you can't find it within this search bar here, you can find it there, Gwarimpa. Let's say you're going to Gwarimpa, then you click on search here. It would look for that location within the Google map or Google Earth rather. And when you click on it, it will show you this location. Let's say this is around the place you are going to. Sometimes you may not be able to find the location on Google Map or Google Earth. Sorry, I may be using those two statements interchangeably. Forgive my negligence. So if you do not have a particular name with which you could search on Google Earth, or perhaps after searching you didn't find it, you can also extract or go to that particular location by clicking on this icon here, place mark. Once you click on the place mark, you will be needing your coordinates. So take for instance, you want to go for a preliminary design. It's not as if the project has been awarded anyways. You just want to do a little preliminary design. So you have the coordinates, say just four coordinates of that place. You got a survey around that place that could just pick the four coordinates of the site. So you have to just type in the coordinates here for the eastern and the northern. That's all you have to do. So on typing it in here and then clicking OK, anyways, you can change this yellow icon that is shown on my screen right now by clicking on this icon, and then you have tons of icons that you could use. That is at your own discretion. So once you're comfortable with the coordinates, you click on OK. So I have a particular coordinate here. Let's say I need about four of them to define my site location. So I've clicked another one. I would name this one 2, and then I will drag it to wherever I want. Remember, you're not supposed to drag. It's supposed to be controlled by the survey points or the coordinates rather. Okay, so I've named this one 2. Let me name this one 1 to be the first um, survey point I have. I'll click on properties and then type 1 here to change the name. I'll go for another one again, name it 3, drag it to wherever I want, and then click on OK. And then the last one, I'll make it 4, and then drag to wherever I want it. Okay, so let's focus this session or this webinar on let's say you want to extract the survey data for a particular road, So we can see this road here, cutting across two areas. Yes. So I can go back to these properties, make this so close to this road, and then click on OK. The same thing for this one. Place mark number 1. I'll go to properties, drag it down to wherever I'm comfortable with, which is meant to be dictated by the survey data or the coordinates submitted by your surveyor for the preliminary design. Why I am saying preliminary design is that Google Earth is not utterly accurate. It is not as accurate as the survey data your surveyor goes to sites to obtain. It is an imagery. Well, perhaps eventually it could be so accurate, but for now it is not all that accurate as much as your aerial survey and the land survey that is conducted by the professionals. Okay, so let's say I'm comfortable with these 4 points. I'm comfortable with these 4 points. The next thing I want to do is to generate the um, the topography. What that means is that yes, I can see this area from the top view, but how can I extract the elevation? How can I extract the coordinates of all of these locations, and then I can work with it on AutoCAD or ArcGIS or whichever software that you can use to manipulate and then do your own engineering design. That is the task at hand. Okay, allow me to minimize my screen a little bit so that there won't be interference. Okay, so I haven't done this. The next thing you want to do is to come to this add path. There's this icon called add path. Can you see it on my screen? Hello? Any response from your end? Can you see this add path that my cursor is on it? Okay, so when you click on add path, you could give it a name. Let's say you name it, say, just survey, anything you're comfortable with. I'll name mine survey, and then I'll click on, before you click on OK, what you want to do is to draw this path. It is more of a polyline. I'm talking from the perspective of people that are comfortable with and conversant with AutoCAD. It's as though you want to create a polyline that would traverse between points. Hello? Hello? Are we together? Okay. So we continue from where we left off. You want to create a polyline that would traverse between points number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you are kind of creating a polygon around that area. Oh, sorry. Let me share. How about now? Good. So you want to create a polyline. Here it is called path, PATH. So it would come between 1, 2, 4, and 3. So when you create it, you want to ensure that the polyline cuts across enough points. What each point is doing is that it is obtaining the X and Y. I'm talking about eastern and northern, and then the elevation. So let's say you pick just 4 points. The whole topography will be dependent on just those 4 points. However, if you increase the number of points, it makes it more accurate. We all know that when you're taking survey data, you take it at intervals. And then whenever you have a critical situation on site, you want to focus on that location. Why? Because you want your data to be as accurate as possible. That is the same thing that is applicable here. So when you have situations of, say, there's a stream cutting across your site, or a river, or there's any other feature like that, you want to focus on that point and pick as many points as possible on those locations. So this is how it is done. Remember, I haven't clicked OK on this path, which I named survey. So I'll start from 1. Once you click on 1, you want to, my mouse is my left mouse, what's it called? The left key. It is on. I'm still holding it right now, and then I will keep dragging it within the boundary of my site. You see, I have defined the site currently. Now I want to keep moving this mouse within that area to capture as much data as possible. Are we together? Okay. Now what I'm doing is that I'm trying to go as much as possible over the site to ensure that we do not have an expanse, a very wide expanse of land without a particular survey data. Well, when you're doing your own preliminary design, you want to make it so what's the word? So congested, yes, as much as possible. The more congested it is, the more accurate the survey, the extracted data is. Remember, Google Earth data, it is not accurate. Now, if you do a lazy job, it makes the inaccuracy so inaccurate. So you want to be as meticulous as possible when you're doing this task. So what all I will do right now is just to go a few number of times more, because this is just a 30-minute exercise. Okay, we've actually spent 25 minutes anyways. So when you're done with this task, you click on OK, and then you see that it goes back to just white because that's actually what we chose. When you go back to these properties and then you come to color, you can change the color here. You can choose say blue and okay. The width also, you could increase it to say 2 and then okay. You see that it has changed. That is just for your own graphical choice. Yes. So when you're done with this, you will click on this this path, which I called polyline for us to understand. I'll click on it. I'll click on it and choose save place as. When you do that, you look for a comfortable location on your system, on your computer, and then say you have within download, you can save it as KMZ or KML, whichever one you're comfortable with. It is equally suitable. So I'll go for this KML and then select save. So it has been saved on my system like that. Now, after it has been saved, the next thing I want to do is to go to just within Google, type GPS, then visualizer, GPS visualizer. What we want to do here is that we have extracted the path from Google Earth. Now we want to add elevation to what? To the path. The path only has the easting and northing, x and y coordinates, but the elevation is still not there. So that is what you want to do with this GPS visualizer. For every coordinate you generate, or for every coordinate you want to use on site, you need 3 components. Number 1, the easting, northing, and then the elevation. So we have gotten the x and y within Google Earth. Okay, if I come here, you can see that on my screen down here within the status bar, this is called status bar down here. You can see that as I'm moving this the mouse, it is changing. Nothing and the easting is changing. The same way when you click on this place marks, you see that as you're changing them, as you're changing the place mark, this easting and nothing is also changing. So we have been able to extract the easting and nothing. The next thing we want to do now is just for elevation. So you go to Google, search GPS visualizer. It should direct you to this website called www.gbsvisualizer.com. That's where you're going to. They have a number of things they could do for you when it comes to GPS and what have you. But what you're looking for is down here by the name elevation data. That's what you want to generate your elevation data. So within this line, you would get to this point. Let me expand my screen so that we will be on the same page. Elevation data here. You get to this point where you have this hyperlink by the name elevation data. You click on it. When you click on it, it will take you to where you can import the KMZ or KML file you saved from Google Earth. Okay, then you can choose your file, downloads. I'll go for survey and open. Then after opening it, I can convert and add elevation. Just click on this, convert and add elevation. But then which output file do you want? I want it as just a plain text, not GPX file, just as plain text. Now you click on this convert and add elevation. That's the next thing you want to do, convert and add elevation. Once you have done that, it brings you to this next page where you have the latitude and the longitude coordinates, and then you have the elevation. This is actually what we have come to do on this website. It is this elevation that each coordinate is supposed to have, that it has added to it. So now after we have generated this one, we will download the text file. That's the next thing. You will download the text file. Okay, so I would open the text file. You can see this on my screen as just a normal notepad text file. However, because Excel works best with survey data and computing them, changing the columns, changing the title and what have you, we will use Excel file to put it in order. It is not necessary, but then it is just to make our work so neat. So I'll go to Excel on my system and then bring in that file, that text file that we downloaded from that website. I'll go for all files to list that file that was downloaded and then open. You just follow this process based on, you click next and then click next and then you go for finish. It would have helped you sort all of this data into their respective columns. Now, we do not need color, opacity, width, and description, and also this first column too. So I'm going to delete all of these ones, leaving behind just latitude and longitude, and then the altitude. These are the three data that we need, the three components of every survey data or every coordinate that we need. They are present right now. So from your own end, if you can work with latitude and longitude, your data is ready because you have it, with all the components it needs. You have the three. However, if you want to convert it to nothing eastern, that I think by far most of us are comfortable with, well, what you do is that after you have been able to bring it in like this as an Excel file, remember to save it, to sort it because it has been sorted. After it has been saved, close that file. After you close it, what next? We are using the next software to help us convert from latitude, longitude to what? To nothing eastern or eastern nothing, whichever one. Okay, then I will look for that software on my system. Whoever has interest in this software for conversion, you can just drop a mail or perhaps you send us a message through the number that was given on the flyer. So this is the software here, Salesware Coordinate Converter. You click on it and then you see just this very simple interface. It's a very small, light software, just about 20 MB. You can also download it from your own end. The name is CSWare. Okay, because I'm not just converting a single coordinate, I'm converting a file. I'm going to go to this next tab and then select the coordinate system I want to use. Okay, we're in Nigeria, and the what's the name? Our reference point is in Mina. and the zone is 31N. I want us to understand what zone means. For us to fully understand what zone means, you could come back to this Google Earth and go for view here and then go to grid. When you click on grid, you will come to understand that the whole Earth has been zoned. So it means that there's some people within this zone 30, some people within zone 31, and then some people within zone 32. I don't mean some people, I mean some geographical location. The same way it has been numbered based on figures along the x-axis, it has also been numbered and alphabetized, if that word exists, into ABC along the y-axis. So Nigeria falls within, you can see that Nigeria is around this place. So Nigeria falls between 31 and 32, P and N. So whichever location you're looking for in Nigeria, it's either it is 32P or 32N, or it is 31P or 31N. So that is the zone that we're talking about. Look at it very well. So this is the whole Earth, and then it has been zoned based on the longitude and then the latitude. I think it's about each zone is about 6 degrees. Yes, each zone is about 6 degrees. So that is the meaning of the zoning, and then I've explained why Nigeria falls between 31 and 32. So when you come to this elsewhere, you want to search 31 or 32, whichever one is comfortable. So I can see Mina here, Mina in Niger State, which is our reference point, UTM zone 31. I would select it and then click on OK. After you click on that, you're looking for an input file. It means the file you want to convert, the latitude and longitude you want to convert to northern and eastern. So I'll click on these three dots or ellipses. I'll go to downloads. That is where I have it saved. I'll click on this and then open. Once that is opened, the next thing is, do you want the latitude and longitude column of the Excel file to be replaced? If that is your choice, fine. But then I do not want that. I do not want that. I just want it to add the new X and Y only. So after that, I'll click on convert. Okay, I have this to do. This define columns. I haven't defined my columns. Remember, within the Excel file, there is latitude and longitude and then altitude, which is the elevation. I'll click on this first column and then set it as my latitude, and then the second column I'll set it as my longitude, and then OK. As for the altitude, you do not need it. You don't convert elevation, except of course you want to convert from unit to unit. But then in this situation, you don't need to convert it. You're comfortable with whatever it is. The only thing you're converting is the latitude and longitude to northern and eastern, or vice versa. Okay, so I'll go for OK, and then I'll look for a very suitable location on my system to save it. It is still under downloads. I'll save it as my coordinates, and then OK, enter. Then the last thing you want to do is to click on this convert. You see, immediately it says your file has been converted. Okay, so I'll look for the conversion that has been made. Who's there? I'll look for the conversion that has been made on my system, wherever it is that it is saved. Okay, I have coordinates here. I will try to open it with an Excel file or with Excel as an app. And then locate it on my system. Where are you? All files, coordinates. So you want to sort it out also based on the columns, and then this is what we have. This is actually where we are going to. We have our latitude, longitude, which is what we downloaded from that website after it has been converted or after the elevation has been generated. And then we have what we are looking for. the destination X, which is the eastern value, and then destination Y, the northern value. This is actually what we are looking for. So now that I have been able to obtain my X and Y, I do not need all of these guys. I'm going to delete them, and then I'll be left with my just the northern and the eastern. Delete. Then I will come back here. Sorry. Excel again. Where are you? Okay, I'm going to bring in this altitude now that has been generated before. So this is actually all I need to continue my work as an engineer, as a surveyor, as a land developer, or what have you. I'm going to save this and then perhaps save it as CSV, which is very compatible with Civil 3D. That's the next software we'll be using just to visualize what we have been doing. As far as I'm concerned, I think we're actually done with the task. Yes, at this point, we're done with the task. So within Civil 3D environment, you want to import whatever it is that we have generated. I'll come to this insert, go for point from file, and then select this plus sign within downloads. Where are you? Downloads, and then I have my coordinates. Okay, so this is actually what we were looking for. The eastern ENZ, eastern, nothing, and then the point elevation. This is all we're looking for. Once you click on OK, the whole of that survey data is brought into the Civil 3D environment, and then you can zoom, extend to visualize everything you have been doing. Are we seeing this on our different screens from wherever it is we're joining us? Okay, so for every point that you were able to pick as at the time you're working with Google Earth, I'm going to zoom back to that point so that we can see the similarity. Okay, this is what we have here. It is the same thing anyways, but then it's just for me to further prove that the more survey data you have, the more accurate your output is. You see, the whole of this place, there's no data captured there, and it could be as much as who knows, maybe 2 plots of land is actually within these points. So you want to go as much as possible to extract or pick those points that are of interest to you. Now within Civil 3D, the next thing you want to do is go to this prospector tab. Within surfaces, you create surface, you give it any suitable name you want, and then OK. You come to this EGL, you keep expanding up on the time you get to point groups, because that is what we have brought in. You click on all points, and then voila, we have our surface. Civil 3D calls it surface. Some other people call it topographic map. Yes, some people call it contour lines. All of these things are they work hand in hand. Yes, they work hand in hand. Yes, this is a contour line here, this is a contour line here, this is another contour line, and then another contour line. Within Civil 3D, you could work on how how the contour line is dense. So here I would go for properties and then look for 1 and 5. That would make it, increase the number of contours that we have. So these are the contours that we are looking for. And then this is the digital elevation model that we want to extract in this webinar session. So as a recap, number one, you need your Google Earth. You go to the location that you want to extract the contour line or DEM. After you've done that, you 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 will map out your site by putting all of these pegs called place mark. After that, you want to create your path, which I called polyline. After you've done that, you will save this path as KML or KMZ. After you have saved that, you're going to this website, gpsvisualizer.com, to do what? Bring out the elevation in whatever you have done within Google Map. After you're done with that, you can convert to nothing or easting. After that stage, the next thing is to use whichever software you're comfortable with. It could be Civil Card, it could be whichever software that you're comfortable with. And then when you're done with that, you have achieved the purpose for which this program has been organized. Are we together? Okay. Do we have questions, or you want more clarification, or you have a better way of which this could be done within 5 minutes? The 30 minutes workout is gradually becoming about 45 minutes. Okay. So in the absence of any question, any observation or what have you, we will. Mr. Busari Jami, do you have something to say?
Lecture. I didn't appreciate it. I didn't. You know? So actually, I am of the opinion like if you have the important version,
Okay.
then you can avail of it. Although I think I'm doing well, but you know, I'm not with any of the software. I will go and download the software I said, and you know, I have to practice. But it should be easier because not everything I cannot remember everything.
Of course, of
So
course.
I think people say that you can actually the most of Africa and Philippines part. So you
Okay.
know, a lot of the reason have Philippines before.
Okay.
Even which I have listened, I
Thank you.
so kind of can relate to it more. So if you have the countries, you will love to have it.
No problem, no problem. There has been a YouTube channel that has been created for this purpose, where all of the workouts series, bi-weekly series, will be uploaded. So whenever you miss it, you can always go to that YouTube channel. It is by the name, just the name of this program, Evolis Infratech. Evolis Infratech. I'm going to drop it in the chat box right now. So once you get
So
to your YouTube app, you could just look for Evolis Infratech. You'd find the videos uploaded and some other ones too. Is that okay?
thank you very much. That's really
Okay, my pleasure. Any other question could be directed to the number on that flyer or the email that is provided there too. Your questions will be attended to, and the YouTube channel is just your repository where you can, get the videos that perhaps you didn't get the full grasp of it as at the time it is being aired here. Any other person with a message before we call it a day? Okay, in the absence of any other comments, please, we will bring this program to a closure. Thank you so much for joining me. We hope that everybody have a nice night. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful night. Yeah.